Alright guys, welcome to my channel. Thank you for tuning in for another week's fat loss update. So this is week 18 now. Don't know what to report to you guys for this week, but probably let me just bring up the bad news first. So the bad news is that I haven't lost any weight in this week, but this piece of bad news can be actually interpreted as a piece of good news. It could mean that as opposed to keep losing more body fat in this week, my body has actually decided to put a bit of more muscle mass this week. And the reason for me to say this is because compared to my image last week, I don't think my body fat has increased in this week. So that gives me the confidence to say that in this week, I've actually managed to grow a bit of muscle mass. So that's why I want to interpret this piece of bad news, not losing more body weight, as a piece of good news. But anyway, as usual, before I reveal this week's fat loss progress to you guys, would greatly appreciate if you can just give me a thumbs up, and also maybe just consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you very much for your support. All right, now I'm done with self-promotion. Without further ado, let me first put out the table there for you guys to reference in relation to what I've done in this week. And I'm going to divide my daily feeling report to you guys into two parts. So the first part is going to be from last Saturday to this Tuesday, and the second part is going to be from this Wednesday to today, which is Saturday. And the reason for me to divide the whole week into two parts is, yes, you guessed it, the Wednesday's morning weigh-in result is the turning point for this week. But anyway, let us first reverse back to last Saturday. So last Saturday's morning weigh-in result, it was 74.4 kilos. Remember, this is going to be a number we're going to measure against this morning's weigh-in result. So last Saturday and last Sunday, I did 3 sessions of hard cardio training in the gym. And let's just talk a little bit about last Sunday. So last Sunday's morning weigh-in result compared to last Saturday, there's 0.1 kilo weight drop. So it looks like the Saturday weight loss was concrete. If you remember, the fat loss I've achieved last week, 1.2 kilos. Last Saturday, there has been a significant weight drop compared to last Friday. So that's the reason why I think that last Saturday's weight loss was concrete, because on last Sunday, there has been one further 0.1 kilo weight drop. But still, I need to probably observe for a few days more to see whether this so-called concrete weight loss was going to stick out long enough for me to claim it or not, which obviously by the end of this week, I failed to claim it. But anyway, even at this point on last Sunday, I wouldn't be surprised if there's going to be another round of huge weight rebound, which actually occurred just in a few days' time. But anyway, last Sunday, I trained myself in the gym at night. One thing I want to particularly report to you guys is about my pressing strength. In particular, probably my chest strength. So if you want to embark on fat loss journey yourself, don't be so surprised that at some point on your fat loss journey that your pressing strength is going to decrease significantly. For me, this is definitely the case. But luckily now, I sort of converted myself into bodyweight training. So lighter body weight is actually going to help me do more reps, even for my pressing movements. Like in this case, it's going to be the decline bodyweight push-up. So because my body weight is actually decreased, it's not going to interfere so much with my relative strength. But one thing for sure is that your absolute pressing strength, if you're like a big bench pressing guy, I can guarantee that once you have lost enough body fat, your bench press strength is going to plummet. This has been confirmed by so many other fitness superstars. So don't be so surprised that on one day, when you get lean enough, you cannot press so much weight as before. So that's my feeling on last Sunday. And let's fast forward to this Monday. So Monday morning, I could instantly feel that my legs were a little bit sore. I didn't train my legs super hard on last Sunday, but still, the legs they were still a little bit sore. And as usual, I did 1 session of cardio at night on this Monday. And okay, this is a reference for the easy cardio and also the hard cardio training session. So Monday night's cardio, I only burned 840 calories. This is probably easy cardio for me, just in my dictionary, compared to the 3 sessions of cardio I've done on Saturday and Sunday, which in every single session I've managed to burn 960 calories. That's what I consider hard cardio training session. So the difference between light cardio training 840 calories and hard cardio training 960 calories, percentage wise is about 15% intensity drop. And something else I want to put into this reference is about the heart rate. So one was burning 840 calories in 1 hour. My heart rate zone is definitely the traditional zone 2, because my heart rate is about between 130 to 140 beats per minute. And when I was doing 960 calories per hour, definitely the heart rate is going to be higher than 140 beats per minute, which is definitely not zone 2 cardio. But something else I also want to mention, probably in this light cardio versus hard cardio, is that there's such a thing called fat burning. Generally, traditionally, fat burning zone is the zone 2 cardio, which is a heart rate between 130 to 140. But something I want to make clear here, okay, so for you guys to be aware, is that fat burning is not equal to fat loss, because these two things, they may sound very, very similar, but they're governed by two entirely different mechanisms. So fat burning is entirely governed by your training intensity. So the more calories you burn, the higher the cardio training intensity, the more carbohydrate you're going to burn. So that's the mechanism that governs the fat loss. Or sorry, the fat burning. But in terms of fat loss, it is entirely governed by just calories in, calories out. So it really does not matter how much carbohydrate or how much fat you have managed to burn through your exercise. In the end of the day, if there's a big enough caloric deficit, you're going to lose your body fat. So never confuse fat loss with fat burning. They're two entirely different things. And for that matter, I just want to direct your guys' attention to one of the previous videos I've done in my fat loss series. I think it is called episode 2, Terminologies. So in this episode, I've explained quite a few confusing fat loss terms, in which case the fat burning and fat loss is probably one of the most confusing terms that get thrown around in the fitness context. So please feel free to click on the link of this video and just get a better understanding of fat loss yourself. And okay, that's enough talking about this Monday. Let's fast forward to this Tuesday. So Tuesday, let me have a look at my table there. Okay, so I did 1 session of cardio training at night, and this time let's talk about VO2 max. So I did some background research on the website this week and managed to find some website links to roughly calculate my VO2 max. So one way to calculate your VO2 max is by doing a 6-minute maximum power output on one cardio machine. So in my case, it's going to be the elliptical. So I did this simple test on me on the elliptical in the gym, and this time I managed to achieve 320 watts in a 6-minute duration. And by using the VO2 max calculation, I've calculated my VO2 max on Tuesday. It was 53.1. Actually, not a very bad result, and percentage-wise, it means that I'm probably better than 92.9% of people in my age bracket. Don't want to sound too old, but yeah, I'm 35 now. So in this 35 to 39 age bracket, I'm probably cardio-wise, I'm better than roughly about 93% of people out there, which is part of the reason why I say that if you want to grow more muscle mass, being very, very cardiovascularly fit is actually a huge benefit. You can draw a lot of benefits from being very, very cardiovascular fit, and I think I'm a good example to illustrate that. But anyway, something else about the importance of VO2 max is that according to many experts, longevity experts, the VO2 max is probably the single most important longevity marker out of so many biomarkers, and it is even more so important than the strength or the muscle size comparatively. So don't get too obsessed with how much muscle mass or how strong you're going to be. Sometimes you probably want to pay attention to how good your VO2 max is. And definitely, for me currently now, I probably want to challenge my VO2 max multiple times in the next few weeks. So that's what happened that's what happened on this Tuesday, and that's the first part of my daily feeling reports. Okay, the second part of this week's daily feeding reporting starting from this Wednesday. As you guys can see in the table, Wednesday morning weighing result told me that it has been 1.5 kilo overnight weight rebound. If you guys have been following my fat loss journey so far, you will know that this is the third time this kind of huge overnight weight rebound has occurred to me. I've experienced this 2 weeks ago, last week, so this time is the third time. Except for this time that the weight rebound, it was even bigger than the last 2 weeks, 1.2 kilos. This time it was 1.5 kilos. That's the biggest reason I fail to lose more body weight in this week, because this 1.5 kilos just too difficult for me to catch up in the next few days. But anyway, that's probably a good sign for me to tighten my appetite, because I definitely ate too much for 2 consecutive days. So I really cannot excuse myself for this huge overnight weight rebound. Something else happened on this Wednesday was that I also trained in the gym at night, and I actually went quite heavy on the belt squat. So for my heaviest set, I managed to do 12 reps with 180 kilos, which is more than double my current body weight. I never claimed myself to be a super strong person, but more than 2 times my current body weight at 12 reps, I still think that's still solid strength performance. So that's what happened on this Wednesday. Let's fast forward to this Thursday. So Thursday night, I did another session of cardio training in the gym. Something else I want to mention for the whole week is that definitely in this week, the hunger signal I've experienced in this week is much more common compared to the last few weeks. And I suspect that's just a subtle way for my body to remind me that, yes, you have managed to lose enough body fat. I don't want you to lose more body fat. That's why I've experienced many times of this hunger signal. But the good news is that all those hunger signals, they're lingering, they're not consumptive yet. I guess what I'm trying to say here is that I'm not destroyed by the hunger signals yet. They occur very frequently, but I can still manage it quite properly. And I think that's probably one benefit of losing or creating caloric deficit by doing tons of cardio. I'm fairly sure that if this big caloric deficit is created by reducing what I'm eating, then hunger signals are going to be much more destructive instead of just lingering as I've just described. So that's what happened on this Thursday. Let's fast forward to this Friday. So Friday morning, I did another weigh-in, and this time it was 75.4 kilos. So yes, compared to a Wednesday morning, there has been a 0.4 kilo weight drop. But it also means that I was 1 kilo heavier than last Saturday. That's the reason why I'm pretty sure that the body must have been undergoing some body recomposition or even muscle growth, because I don't think my face looks puffier or my abs look blurrier in this week. They are relatively probably in the same situation compared to the last week. So I'm not so concerned about my body weight increased by 1 kilo. That's why I told you guys at the very beginning of this video that I do think that I've managed to put a little bit of muscle mass in this week. But anyway, I stick to this Friday. So this Friday, I had 2 sessions of cardio in the gym, and I actually played around my VO2 max again, but this time a bit more seriously. So this time, I've managed to achieve 373 watts in the 6 minutes duration. And by calculation or conversion to VO2 max, my VO2 max tested on Friday, it was 60.4, which puts me in the 98.7% percentile. So I'm very close to that top 1% in terms of VO2 max test. So give me a bit more time. I'm fairly sure that I can achieve probably 1% percentile in terms of VO2 max. And something else, probably a bit of a warning I want to give to you guys is that this full speed riding for 6 minutes is definitely very draining. Now, I'm very cardiovascularly fit myself, but even under this context, I can still feel that after 6 minutes of full speed riding, very exhausting to myself. So if you ever want to test this VO2 max yourself, be prepared. You are probably going to get hurt if you have not done enough cardio training. So yes, be a bit of careful if you want to test your VO2 max. Probably do a bit of preparation before you jump to directly ride in 6 minutes at full speed. You're definitely going to get hurt. But anyway, let's fast forward to this Saturday morning. So this morning, I jumped on the scale again, and okay, the weigh-in result, it was 70.7 kilos. So compared to last Saturday, I'm actually 0.3 kilos heavier than last Saturday. But I don't suspect this 0.3 kilos, it is all body fat, because if you just look at my face and also probably look at my muscle definition, all that, it hasn't changed so much. So I'm fairly confident to say that this 0.3 kilos is probably muscle mass. But anyway, failed to beat my last week's weight loss prediction, which is 0.7 kilos. So as opposed to losing a further 0.7 kilos, I've actually gained 0.3 kilos. So I don't know what's going to happen in the next week, but yeah, that's what happened in week 18. All right, I know I just said I don't know what's going to happen in the next week, but just for the continuity of the whole fat loss series, I'm still going to make a prediction for my next week's fat loss progress. So I'm going to predict in week 19, I'm going to lose 0.5 kilos. So let's put a flag here first and see whether I can achieve this target or not in the next week. But having said that, I can tell you guys that even at this stage now, I'm already quite happy with my six-pack abs definition. The thing I'm really chasing now is probably trying to lose a bit of more love handles, which is the body fat surrounding your waistline. And that's probably a very difficult target for me to achieve until I get very lean, but still, I want to lose a bit more a love handle just around my waistline and get my obliques a bit of more pronounced in the next few weeks. That's the main target I'm trying to shoot for in the next few weeks. All right, thank you for tuning in for this week's fat loss update, and as usual, please give me a thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you guys in another week's time.